Let me ask you this. How often do you hold back your honest thoughts to avoid conflict? How often do you say yes when you truly mean no? In 2025, it's time to stop being too nice. Now, I'm not advocating for rudeness or hostility. This isn't about abandoning kindness. It's about redefining it. For too long, we've confused being nice with being good. Niceness often prioritizes harmony over honesty, comfort over courage, and approval over authenticity. But here's the truth. A life lived chasing approval is a life lived in the shadows of your own potential. Being nice doesn't mean being effective. Imagine a team where no one gives honest feedback, decisions are delayed, mediocrity thrives, and resentment simmers beneath the surface. In contrast, effective collaboration requires tough conversations, the willingness to challenge ideas, and the courage to speak the truth. Even when it's uncomfortable. Kindness is not weakness. It's about having the strength to say what needs to be said, paired with the empathy to say it in a way that can be heard. Kindness sets boundaries. It says, I respect you, and I respect myself too. Let's talk about the cost of over-accommodation. When we say yes to everything, we say no to the things that matter most, to our priorities, our values, and even our mental health. In 2025, we must learn to embrace the power of no without guilt. Saying no is not selfish. It's essential. So, how do we stop being too nice? By shifting our focus from being agreeable to being impactful. Ask yourself, am I contributing to real growth, or am I just maintaining a facade of peace? True kindness doesn't shy away from challenging the status quo. It leans into discomfort to create real, lasting change. As we step into 2025, let's leave the habit of excessive niceness behind. Let's choose authenticity over appeasement, courage over comfort, and meaningful impact over shallow approval. Let's be kind, but let's also be strong, honest, and unapologetically true to ourselves. Niceness is often celebrated as a virtue, and while it can foster positive interactions, it comes with a hidden cost when it overshadows authenticity. When we focus too much on being nice, we may suppress our true feelings, opinions, or concerns to avoid discomfort or conflict. This can create a false sense of harmony that masks underlying issues, preventing meaningful progress and deeper connections. When people prioritize being liked over being real, it often leads to superficial relationships. These interactions may feel pleasant on the surface, but they lack the depth needed for true understanding and trust. Niceness without honesty can leave unresolved tensions or unmet needs that linger in the background, eventually surfacing in ways that are far more disruptive than an honest conversation would have been. Furthermore, excessive niceness can hinder personal and professional growth. Constructive criticism is a cornerstone of improvement, but when we shy away from giving or receiving feedback out of fear of offending, we rob ourselves and others of opportunities to grow. Niceness may temporarily smooth over a situation, but it does not equip us with the tools to confront challenges or learn from mistakes. In environments where niceness takes precedence over authenticity, decision-making becomes compromised. Important perspectives might be withheld to maintain the status quo, and this reluctance to voice dissent can stifle creativity and innovation. When people are afraid to speak their minds, organizations and relationships alike lose the richness of diverse thoughts and ideas. While niceness may seem like a way to create peace, it often leads to an avoidance of the difficult yet necessary conversations that build stronger foundations. It is not the absence of conflict that creates harmony, but the courage to navigate conflict honestly and respectfully. True connection comes from a willingness to be genuine, even when it feels uncomfortable. Niceness is often mistaken for effectiveness, but the two are not synonymous. While being pleasant and agreeable can make interactions smoother, it doesn't necessarily lead to the best outcomes. In fact, the pursuit of niceness at all costs can sometimes undermine effectiveness, both in personal relationships and professional environments. When people prioritize being nice, they often avoid making difficult decisions or addressing uncomfortable truths. This avoidance can lead to unresolved problems that only grow worse over time. For example, in a team setting, a leader who is overly nice might hesitate to address underperformance, fearing they might upset their team members. While this approach may maintain short-term harmony, it compromises the team's overall success and morale in the long run. Addressing issues directly, though potentially uncomfortable, is essential for long-term effectiveness. Niceness can also blur the lines between accountability and leniency. People who are overly nice may struggle to set and enforce clear boundaries or expectations, leading to confusion and inefficiency. In a workplace, this could manifest as missed deadlines, unclear goals, or a lack of follow-through. Effectiveness, on the other hand, requires clarity, decisiveness, and a willingness to have tough conversations when necessary. Moreover, the desire to be nice can hinder honest communication. When people focus on being liked, they may withhold feedback or sugarcoat the truth to avoid confrontation. This creates an environment where issues are swept under the rug rather than addressed head-on. Without candid dialogue, relationships and teams miss the opportunity to grow and evolve. Niceness in this context becomes a barrier to progress. Niceness in this context becomes a barrier to progress. Finally, being overly nice can lead to an overextension of energy and resources. People who constantly strive to please others may take on too many responsibilities, neglect their own needs, or fail to prioritize effectively. This can lead to burnout and resentment, ultimately making them less effective in fulfilling their roles and responsibilities. True effectiveness lies in striking a balance between empathy and assertiveness, ensuring that actions are not only considerate, but also impactful. Balancing kindness and strength is an essential skill, yet it's often misunderstood. Many people see kindness and strength as opposing forces, with one associated with softness and the other with toughness. However, true leadership, personal growth, and meaningful relationships arise from the ability to embody both qualities simultaneously. Kindness involves empathy, compassion, and a genuine concern for others. It creates an environment where people feel valued and respected, allowing trust to flourish. When people know they are cared for, they are more likely to collaborate, communicate openly, and support one another. However, kindness without boundaries can lead to being taken advantage of, enabling unproductive behavior, or neglecting one's own needs in the process. Strength, on the other hand, is about resilience, decisiveness, and the ability to stand firm in one's beliefs and actions. It ensures accountability and creates a foundation for consistent and fair decision-making. Strength is essential when navigating challenges, resolving conflicts, or upholding values in the face of adversity. But strength without kindness can come across as rigid, authoritarian, or dismissive, which can alienate others and erode trust. The balance lies in understanding that kindness is not about being overly accommodating or avoiding discomfort, and strength is not about being unyielding or harsh. Kindness with strength means having the courage to set boundaries, say no when necessary, and address difficult situations with both compassion and clarity. It's about being empathetic while remaining firm, ensuring that your actions and decisions are not only considerate, but also grounded in principles. For example, a leader who balances kindness and strength will listen to their team's concerns with genuine care, but they will also make tough decisions that serve the greater good, even if those decisions aren't universally popular. Similarly, in personal relationships, this balance allows for open communication where both parties feel heard and respected, while also fostering a sense of mutual accountability. If you're constantly investing in the health of your marriage, or relationship, you will also fostering a sense of mutual accountability. This combination also prevents the burnout that often accompanies being overly nice or overly strict. When kindness is paired with strength, it creates a dynamic where people feel supported, but also challenged to grow. It fosters respect without fear and collaboration without complacency. By mastering this balance, individuals can navigate complex situations with confidence, maintaining their integrity while building stronger, more meaningful connections. Overaccommodation often stems from a desire to be helpful, agreeable, or liked, but its hidden costs can be profound. By consistently prioritizing the needs and desires of others over our own, we risk losing balance in our relationships, our well-being, and our ability to achieve personal or professional goals. One significant cost of overscope accommodation is the erosion of boundaries. When we say yes too often or take on more than we can handle, we diminish our capacity to focus on what truly matters. This can lead to a sense of overwhelm as our time and energy are consumed by commitments that don't align with our priorities. Over time, this pattern fosters resentment, not only toward others for their expectations, but also toward ourselves for not standing firm. Over-accommodation can undermine authenticity. When we constantly adjust our behavior to suit others, we may feel disconnected from our true selves. This can result in feelings of frustration, dissatisfaction, and even identity loss as we struggle to remember who we are apart from the expectations placed upon us. Authentic relationships thrive on honesty and mutual respect, but these qualities are difficult to cultivate when one person continually suppresses their own needs or opinions. In professional settings, over-accommodation can stifle effectiveness and growth. For instance, a leader or team member who agrees to every request, no matter how unreasonable, risks compromising the quality of their work. Rather than focusing on strategic, impactful tasks, they may find themselves bogged down by trivial or redundant responsibilities. Furthermore, this behavior can set a precedent, encouraging others to expect compliance rather than collaboration. Overcorrection encompasses the narrative of collaboration and also often prevents people from moving toward autonomous. Overaccommodation also has implications for personal well-being. Constantly putting others first can lead to burnout as individuals neglect self-care in favor of meeting external demands. This imbalance often results in physical and emotional exhaustion, reducing one's ability to contribute meaningfully to relationships or responsibilities. Moreover, it sends an unspoken message that one's own needs are less important, perpetuating a cycle of self-neglect. Overaccommodation can inadvertently create dependency or entitlement in others. When people become accustomed to having their needs consistently prioritized, they may begin to take this behavior for granted. This dynamic not only places undue pressure on the accommodator, but also hinders the personal growth of those who rely too heavily on their support. True support involves empowering others to take responsibility rather than fostering reliance on someone else's constant accommodation. Transforming niceness into meaningful impact requires a shift from merely pleasing others to fostering genuine connections and driving purposeful action. While niceness often stems from a desire to maintain harmony and avoid conflict, it can sometimes fall short of creating lasting value. By channeling the intent behind niceness into actions that make a tangible difference, we can elevate our relationships, leadership, and personal growth. One way to create meaningful impact is by prioritizing authenticity over superficial agreement. Niceness often involves saying what we think others want to hear, but this approach can lead to misunderstandings or missed opportunities for growth. Instead, offering honest, constructive feedback delivered with empathy builds trust and fosters improvement. People value honesty when they know it comes from a place of care, and this trust becomes the foundation for stronger, more impactful interactions. Another key aspect of transformation lies in aligning niceness with action. While kind words can uplift, pairing them with intentional actions amplifies their impact. For example, offering support during someone's difficult time is meaningful, but following through with practical help, such as lending a hand or solving a problem, demonstrates genuine care. This shift from passive niceness to active kindness bridges the gap between good intentions and measurable outcomes. Niceness also becomes more impactful when it is rooted in clear boundaries and self-awareness. When we say yes to everything to avoid disappointing others, we dilute our ability to make a real difference. Setting boundaries ensures that our energy is directed toward efforts that align with our values and capabilities. This not only preserves our well-being, but also allows us to contribute in ways that are more meaningful and sustainable. Fostering meaningful impact also involves courage. The courage to challenge norms, voice concerns, and take risks that might disrupt the status quo for the sake of progress. Niceness often avoids confrontation, but impactful kindness embraces it when necessary. For instance, standing up for someone being treated unfairly or addressing systemic issues in a team demonstrates that care is not passive. It is an active force for positive change. Transforming niceness into impact means shifting focus from being liked to being respected. Niceness might win temporary approval, but consistent integrity and a commitment to doing what's right, even when it's hard, earn lasting respect. When people see that our actions are driven by principles rather than the need for validation, they are more likely to view us as trustworthy and influential. By redefining niceness through the lens of authenticity, action, and courage, we move beyond surface-level interactions to create a legacy of meaningful and lasting impact. In a world that often equates niceness with goodness, it's time to reevaluate what it truly means to connect, lead, and make a difference. Being nice has its place, but when it becomes a barrier to honesty, growth, or impact, it loses its value. Authenticity, balanced with strength and kindness, allows us to build deeper relationships and create environments where trust and respect flourish. Let's embrace the discomfort of hard conversations, the courage to set boundaries, and the wisdom to act with purpose. By transforming niceness into meaningful action, we can navigate 2025 with resilience and integrity, making decisions that aren't just pleasant but profoundly impactful. The goal isn't to stop caring, it's to care in a way that matters. Let's aim not just to be nice, but to be real, kind, and effective, leaving a legacy of authenticity and purpose.